Becky Perry and head coach Jim McLaughlin. And Jim, if you want to make a few opening statements, and then we'll take questions.
Okay. It's real disappointing right now. Everyone in that room was suffering, and they put everything they have into this thing, and when they come up on this side of it, it's not a fun thing. I hope some meaning comes at some point. Cal played awfully well. They pressured us and played a very complete game, and we did not play as well as we're capable of. But this team went through a lot, where we started and where we finished, and all the stuff they accomplished individually and together as a group was, to me, was a blast every day, especially the last 4 weeks. Figured a lot of stuff out.
Questions?
Coach, what was the biggest difference between last night and tonight?
The vibe was good prior to the match. I don't know if we matched the energy level. One thing I'm thinking about it is, did we just have everything geared up for Nebraska? I don't know. I just thought our energy level didn't match last night. Last night was incredible.
Just maybe the familiarity. I know it goes both ways with Cal's familiarity, but we just have to be playing that a little bit.
I'm going to look at the tape. It'll be hard to watch, but they served tough, they passed tough, and they dug like crazy. And they just played. They played a lot better than they did last night.
Was digging the primary tipping point?
I thought we hit some balls out of bounds, and we were right there in it, and that worried me a little bit. And then they dug a lot of balls and just put some pressure on us. But Cal could win this thing.
Sorry to ask painful questions, but could you detect a difference between last night and tonight in yourselves? Did you sense anything coming on, or did anything feel different tonight?
I think it was just a little bit harder to kind of get things going. We weren't in as smooth a rhythm as maybe we would have wanted. But you got to bring the energy somehow, and I don't think we were quite at the level we wanted to be at.
Was there anything they were doing that made the evening difficult?
They played great defense.
Yeah.
They played a great match all the way around. Their offense was great. Their, defense, they're getting in the way of everything. So they're just frustrating, and that's a sign of a great team.
I couldn't believe how many digs they had. This was amazing stuff.
Jenna, it seemed like they were hitting to you a lot or trying to get you out of system. Did you feel like you were out of system for a lot of the match?
I don't know if I felt that way. You mean like defensively they were hitting us? I think sometimes we'll set it up so they're hitting back towards me to dig a ball. So we play pretty well in system, out of system, and I'm digging, but I just put a lot of pressure on this period.
Like Coach said, it was quite an interesting year for you guys. Can you kind of encapsulate it at this point, or unable to look back at it yet?
I think it's too soon. Sorry.
For you though, Jim, are you able to make to the NBA to go kind of look back and gain some pride on that?
Yeah, I think the pride comes from how this team changed every day. They changed as just better teammates. And, going in the gym with them was it was great. And as hard as they work, you just want to get the return at that level, and it just stinks when you don't. It's just that sports. But every day I can tell you they worked harder than any group I've ever been around. They worked hard.
Jenna or any of the seniors team, again, it's a perspective question.
soon. We put a lot into it. I know all of us have put a ton into our 4 years here. We've loved every second. That's really all I can say.
I wouldn't trade this team for anything. I wouldn't trade my 4 years for anything. I've never looked back and said, I wish I would have gone somewhere else. Here's where I want to be. This is where I call home. So, it's just been awesome. And the way that we've come as a team from where we were to where we ended, it's amazing. It was a fun ride. It really was.
What we learned here will be with us for life. You know, I think a lot of programs have girls that come out winning national titles, and we never did that. But my character will be different for the rest of my life. And I'll have love and family in this team for the rest of my life. And that might be a greater gift.